Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to do something interesting. I'm gonna make some earrings out of polymer clay. So this is the beginning. I'm doing this late at night because I couldn't wait till the morning. I conditioned 2 pieces of clay and this is the clay I'm using. So it's Kato polymer clay. I've never used it before. So I bought it online. So as you can see, it's translucent. So this will become kind of see-through after baking. I'm also going to be using some glue. So this you can use with baked or with raw clay. I'm going to be using some titanium white by Amsterdam. I've got some gorgeous mica powder. It's hard to see, but this is has a greenish reflection. And I've got some gold foil I'm going to be using. And then for the other one, I'm going to be using some blue coloring in combination with a copper foil. I think that would look really cool. I'm going to add a bit of this nice bluish green mica powder. But let's just start. I already conditioned this clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out. Something like this. And then just flattening it. And I'm going to cut it into little pieces. So I've got my blade. Like so. So now I've got all these small pieces and I want to separate them best as I can. So I put on a little mask because I'm working with mica powder. You don't want to inhale it. I separated out 2 piles. I'm going to add some mica powder to this one. And then I'm going to add some paint to the other side. So I'm going to cover these pieces in the mica powder. Sorry for the crinkling of my gloves. And it should stick to the clay because it's sticky. And as you can see, it gives this really nice sheen to it. Compared to this one, this looks really flat and this looks nice and shiny. So I think that's more than enough. So now I'm going to get a little bit of my titanium white. It's just a normal acrylic paint. I'm just going to add a little bit to these pieces. Don't want a whole lot, just want enough on there. And now I'm going to spread that over these pieces of clay. I'm just going to try and cover everything. So I've separated these out and I'm just going to add the ones with the mica in between. So I'm trying to scatter them so they're not clumped together. So I'm putting them a little bit closer together. And now I'm going to add some of the glue. I think I might have put a little bit too much. I'm going to mix that up. So now it's time for the gold foil. So this is the tricky part. This stuff likes to attach to everything that it's not supposed to. I'm just gonna try and get it to stick. And now I'm just gonna mix it in like so. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it to dry for a little bit before I smush it together to create a new piece that I'm gonna be cutting my slices from. So it's gonna be a new cane, as they call it. I'm just gonna smush it together. I'm gonna try and get as much air out as I can. These gloves are making it so much harder, but I don't have a smaller size available at the moment. So this will have to do. It's just sticking. Oh, this is such a mess. I love it. Let's see if we can make it into some sort of cane form. So I think I'm happy with this. And now I'm gonna put it to the side and let it dry overnight. So the acrylic paint and the glue gets a chance to get nice and handleable without gloves. Because this is way too sticky. So this is going to be the second one. And what I want to do is color this clay. So I'm going to be rolling it out. I wish I had a pasta machine, but this is pretty expensive. So for now I'm just going to use my roller. And I'm just going to cut this piece in 2, like so. Because I want to make 2 different colors. I've got these colors that I normally use for my resin, but they should work on coloring the clay. We'll see how messy it's gonna get. They're both transparent and they're slightly different because I wanted to make 2 different colors. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to start mixing in these colors till everything's nice and blue. And the color is no longer coming off on my hands, then it should be mixed. So this is going to take quite a while, so I'll be right back. So I've got my 2 colors. I added a little bit of the turquoise to this one to make it a little bit more different because they were quite equal. So what I want to do is I'm going to roll these into like kind of snakes, like so. And I want to put some mica powder on one side, so I'm going to flatten these out. Don't want them to be too too thin. So I think this will do. They're like, I think about 3 millimeters, maybe 4 millimeters thick. And I'm going to be brushing on some mica powder. And again, I'm wearing a little mask just to make sure that I'm not breathing it in. And I'm just going to put a little bit on. I don't want too much. A little bit goes a long way. I'm just using a paintbrush to brush it on. So they're both nice and coated. And now we're going to do the underside. I'm just going to remove them, turn them over. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of acrylic paint. And I'm just going to brush it over this side. I'm just going to use my silicone brush for this little bit of paint. And once I'm done covering it, I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm gonna go to the next step. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the glue on this side and spread it out just a tiny bit. Just when I roll it up, it sticks to each other and it doesn't come loose that easily. I think I might have used a little bit too much. I'm still learning how much I need because I just got all these products in last week because it was really hard to get. I don't know if it's like that in the countries you're living. I'd love to hear how it's in your countries. And I'm gonna try and roll it. It's a little bit slippery. So you could have used like a lot less. Probably would have worked still fine. So that's why I put the gloves on, because the mica powder's on the outside. Just roll it just a little bit, like so, and do it on the other one as well. Maybe I'm gonna fold this one a little bit more. I'm trying to remember what the next thing is I need to do. I think it's going to be cutting these up in chunks and then adding a little bit more of the glue. And then it's time to add some foil. But first let's cut them up. Let's just try and separate them. It's really sticky, so I'll get back to you when I've got them separated. So I already grouped them a little bit together, and I think I'm gonna try and add the foil on this like it is, because it was so sticky already on my gloves. So I think that should be enough. I don't want to overdo it. I'm gonna add just a little bit of the glue. Hopefully this time that's not too much. I'm just gonna try and smush it into a cane. I think that will do. Got a little piece of parchment. I'm gonna put it on top. And I'm gonna put it next to the other one. And now I'm gonna leave them to dry. And it's ready to do the next step tomorrow. So it's the next morning, and I think they're dry enough to cut. So I'm going to try and make some slices. And I'm going to put the slices to the side and let them dry as well, because the paint on the inside is still a little bit wet. So let's do the blue one. I'm gonna take off a really tiny slice in the front. Oh yeah, I'm liking this one. Really interested to see how this one turns out. So this is what they're looking like. And I'm gonna let them sit for a little bit so the paint can fully dry, and then we'll make a slab. It's been a couple of hours. I left my clay to dry and the paint isn't transferring anymore, at least not from what I can see. I rolled out a really thin sheet of the transparent clay, and now I'm just gonna place my pieces on top. I'm gonna look at which side I want to be on top. So this is kind of boring and this is better. So I'm gonna put this with this side up. And I'm just gonna stick it right here. I'm gonna just put a little bit underneath just to make it stick together a little bit more. And you can even shape them a little bit differently because I'm going to be rolling it out. This is just to create your slab. And don't worry about the holes in between, they will fill up. I'm just trying to use my clay as economically possible. So I think that's good for the white. Let's do the same for the blue. I'm really the most excited about the blue part. And with the blue, you can see there's the light blue and the dark blue. And when you're putting them together, this is dark on this side and light on that side. And you put those together so it doesn't make a big blob of just dark blue. So that's the only thing I look for. So I'm just going to cut around it. Just remove everything I don't need and save that for another time. And then I'll roll the rest out. And I'll show you when I've got the slabs ready. So I rolled both out. I love them both. I think they're gonna look absolutely stunning when they're baked. So I've got a couple of shapes I want to try. So first of all, I made some earring shapes. And I made them out of Worbla because I couldn't find any in the store. So I did some round. I got these long ones. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I really want to try. I've got this shape. but I feel it might be a little bit too narrow, so we have to think about what I want to do with that. And then the one I like the most is this, the teardrop. I also got these hangers I want to test, and I also make like memorabilia rings with horsehair. So I've got 2 of the rings, and as you can see they have a space, and I've got 2 different sizes. I'm gonna put some clay in and bake them and see how that works. But let's start with the easy part with the earrings. Let's start with the long one. I think it's working. Then the top part. Let's see if I can take it out. Okay, they come out quite nice, but it's gonna look stunning. Let's do the other one on the other side, because here I've got the veining going horizontal. I want it to be horizontal on the other side as well. I think I'm gonna put this one here. I'm really surprised at how easy they come off. So that's a pair of the long ones. Then I want a pair of the round ones here on the blue. I'm gonna put that down. I really like this area. The small one, the top one here. Take it off. Looking good. Put this one here. And then this one right here. So that's the round one. I think I might actually want to try the hangers that I got from the German craft store. But I'm not sure. Do I want the silver? Yeah, I think I want to do the gold on this side. So I really want to do these earrings. But I'm afraid that if I do them like with the open area, they're going to be too thin and gonna break. I think I have enough space. But that's pretty big. I think I might prefer the smaller size. I think for this time I'm just going to use the smaller side. If this works out, I'm probably going to make another batch, so I'm not that worried that I'm not going to use my molds. Trying to find an area that's not as boring. Let's use this part. So I've got some space left, so I'll get back to that later. So that took me about 10 minutes to make the new shape. It's that easy. I think that's gonna look good. Let's just go for it. Okay, not bad. Let's do the other side. Try and get them a little bit equal, pretty even. Let's go for it. There you go. Awesome. I need to do my rings. So I've got the blue one for the blue, and I've got a silver one for this one. But I know where I want to place the blue one, because I wanted to do it on this side. So let's just roll the ring over. And that's gonna create the perfect shape for the insert. I'm just gonna cut it out and put it in here. I think this is big enough. This video is getting way longer than I thought it would. Let's make some earrings. It's gonna be a 10-minute video 4 days later. That's the problem of being a perfectionist. You really want it to be perfect. Art isn't always perfect. Okay, that's gonna fit in nicely. And it is also long enough. I am, however, gonna do this off camera because I don't wanna mess it up. So I'm gonna take out the shapes and keep them on the tile, bake them, and then I'll show you the next step. So here you can see me drilling a hole in the baked clay. I'm just using a 1mm bit. It doesn't have to be a really big hole. And now it's time for a top coat, and I'm using the laminating resin from Sam. I'm just pouring a little bit of resin on each piece and then moving it around with my silicone tool. I just don't want it to go over the edge. I'm using a dog liquid mat that's made from silicone to put my pieces on. It's a lot cheaper than one of those you can buy for just resining. Got my pieces dry, and I'm going to just correct some of the issues I had. So I'm just going to use my nail file, and I'm actually wearing one of these little masks because you don't want to breathe in the dust. So let's see if we can fix this. There you go. I took off the sharp edge because you don't want it, and now it's ready for some hardware. I'm using some small pliers to twist open the ring. I added some painter's tape to the tip so I won't damage the material. When placing the rings, make sure you put the pieces on the right side up. I made that mistake a little bit too often. I'm just gonna add the backings with a little bit of glue. You could use some super glue, but I prefer this one because you can still move it around a little bit before it sets. And now it's time for the final reveal. As you can see, I made a whole range. I'm never gonna run out of earrings, but I really love how they turn out. The colors are amazing. They really look like they're made of stone, especially the beige ones. I really love them, and you can see the light through them. It's absolutely gorgeous. I made several different styles and also added some other colors to them. They are actually all the same base of clay. So I combined the blue and the beige to make that green color, and I added some black acrylic paint for the veining on the one pair, and I actually really like that. It gives it a little bit more of a contrast. The rings came out really nicely. I'm going to show some close-ups of those. There are a couple of things I would have done differently. For example, I don't think I would drill the holes before the resining. I rather do resin first and then drill the holes, because I had to re-drill and not all of the holes are in the right place. So that's a tip I want to give you. Do the resin first and then drill the holes. Also, I think I would make the clay a little bit thinner, because with the resin on top, they're quite bulky and they are a little bit heavy for my taste. I'm not even sure if I want to resin them. Maybe I'm going to use a varnish next time, because the resin was a bit finicky. Overall, I'm really excited how they look, and I can't wait to hear your opinion on these. Just leave a comment down below and let me know which one is your favorite. Mine, I have to go for the big ones in the beige. Those are just stunning. So please, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps my video. And also, I've noticed that 90% of my viewers aren't subscribed. So please, if you watch more than one of my videos and you like them, hit that subscribe button. It's free and it really helps to get my channel to grow. So I really would appreciate it. But thank you for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!